Stay tuned. The series is going to wake up your magic. So change is one of those words and one of those expressions, and yet it's also one of those experiences that people have a lot of resistance to. So change is imminent. Change is a constant. We are forever changing. And yet change is what blocks most of us at times when we're in that space of, I want to use the word imbalance, but it's not imbalance. It's when we are away from being in the flow. So balance is for me, it's a ray of light. It's more of how you're communicating where you are and what you're doing and how things are unfolding in your life. So being in balance is more your communicating, vibrating frequency versus to what you're saying and what you're doing and how things seem to be. But today's conversation and awareness is around change and how change impacts the space with you being the creator of your life, but also you being the thought creator, the one that's processing this ability to open up the doorway for change to just be what it is. You can't stop the changes. Yet everyone is like holding back, putting the brakes down, feeling the resistance, denying, being subjective to, past remarks, being in old wounds, and being in the space of distorting further where the natural process is. So change it's like spirituality. There is not one day that is ever the same. The sequence of events, the atoms, the science of it, and the dance between the science and the spirituality is so beautiful and intelligent and yet undeniable. It's like the aspect in the platform that I use with Moon and Me. There's not one moon cycle. There's not one lunation. There's not one planet alignment that's ever, 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 ever the same at any time. It's like you are born in one day and yet you go through every birthday at that same day and it's never, ever the same because you've changed. Things have changed. Ultimately, everything in sequence to that experience has changed. So there we go. Change is a constant evolution of who we are. Now, why this conversation today? Why this conversation for you right now? Why this topic? Is because change is. So where are you with your changes? Are you in emotional capacity? Is your emotional waters? Okay. Is the emotional aspect of you allowing, flowing, and in rhythm and pleasantly happy-go-lucky? Or are you resisting? Are you anxious? Are you stressed? Are you in this negative rampage? Where are you in this change? Because here is what people don't understand, that there are multiple points. It's like a tuning fork, right? As you go through these changes, there's multiple doorways. There's a million roads to Rome. There's a million ways to get things done. There's not one way. It is up to you to choose the best way for you. But sometimes we forget to take the turn on the highway, or we get lost a little bit, or we get curious and we get out of our own labyrinths and move into this maze. And in the maze, those changes are continuously unfolding, yet you are the one that's getting blocked and confused by your way out. Did you get that? You have to think about that one just a little bit. Let's just go back to what I just mentioned there. Think about that. If you were to just close your eyes, are you in your labyrinth? Or are you in the maze? Because you can't change. Change is unfolding. You are growing, either by the contrast of your emotional output or you're growing by your thought process and progress from there, or you're growing from the benevolence of your experiences by just being in those moments of rhythmic alignment. Either way, you're growing. Either way, it's changing. So either you're getting pulled by the ropes, or you are allowing for these ropes to be guided, supported guidelines and support versus pulls. So it's like skiing. If you've never skied or water skied before, okay, you get pulled. You might take a tumble or two. But it's got to be innate. It's got to be with you that you either want to be in that change and in that flow, or you just give up. And that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing a lot of giving up. And it's not a conscious give up. It's more of people are surrendering and they're giving up to the emotional toxicity. They're giving up. They're throwing in the towel too soon. They're giving up too soon. They are ignoring the fact that you have changed along the way. And so have the aspects of who you are. But those emotions haven't. Those experiences of how you used to be in the past haven't. So could it be possible, and I know that it's out there for you, or some of you, could it be possible that that emotional aspect of you is also looking to be relieved or brought into the light from either the hurt or the trauma or the subsequent feelings of abandonment or distress or misfortune or just a slight episode of destruction? Could it be that those emotions are also needing to be enlightened so that the aspects of you are more in alignment with knowing, okay, we've experienced that, but we also know that every day you have the same opportunity to get to all of that good fortune, to all of that benevolence, to all of those magical possibilities of blessings and richness and wealth and health and all that by you being in alignment with more of who you are. Change is a big one because so many people get into a rut of how things need to be. Schedules and lists and to-do lists and calendars and programs and processes. And yet, the most important systematic program is the one that you carry within you. How are you connecting with yourself? What are you saying? What are you saying? How are you holding this in your heart? What is your pulse? How are you creating it? And why do you need to allow these changes to just be so that you're able to express change being who you are and the evolvement of that, or you expressing, okay, what you're resisting these changes to bring? So I have a previous episode out there that talks about the awareness of asking. And you can't be asking for the same thing over and over again. If you get a chance, just go in and listen to that. It's beautiful, it's powerful, and it's so simple because it takes you to that place of recognition. Well, it's the same, similar aspect to change. Are you holding yourself from being what you've asked for? Are you resisting what you're asking from yourself? These changes are innate. It's you evolving, knowing how to breathe more deeper, fluidly, knowing how to connect to the aspects of yourself. You are so much more than what you think you are. If you're still thinking and believing that you're just a body and a corpse, well, there's an awakening right now. You know you're not. Because the body doesn't exist without your spirit. And your spirit is a forever, changeable, evolving, eternal light of wisdom and intelligence. So just that right there takes the corpse out of being. However, you're never going to be the person that you are today and in this lifetime. But you're never going to be this person today like you were last year and the year before that and the year before that. Things have changed. Things have happened. Circumstantial things have come into place. There's more ingredients. There's more salt, or there's more leaves. And the more leaves fall, if you're not cleaning those leaves up, then you have got more of dead leaves around you. And so more things get covered up. So this brings me to the most important thing for how do you allow this change to be peaceful? How do you allow this change to be so knowing to you? How do you allow you to be the you that is you? How do you allow the aspect of you to be symbiotic to what's unfolding? How do you do this? You cleanse, you clear up your space, you allow the space with you and you to be cleared. You allow those thoughts to be cleared away. You allow those emotions to be cleared away. How do you change one home into another? You pack up your things, you clean up your things, and you move. You don't leave your things there. You have to take them with you. But you're not taking the things that are broken. You're not taking the things that haven't been cleaned up. There are certain things that you're dropping and you're letting go. Yet there are people that are hoarding and they are keeping their things more and more and more, and paperwork and broken plates and broken things and memories that are just diaries full of memories that are just resonating deception and infidelity and hurts and destructiveness and all that. Why are you keeping that? The law has to respond to that. Burn it. That is not something you want to remember. You already remember that. Every cell of your body remembers that. Be wise and be spiritually responsible for those changes. If you had that because that's been banked, it's now benevolent. It's a favorable thing. But if you're not allowing those changes, and if you're not allowing those things, and just allowing it is one thing, but then allowing it to the next phase is another thing, right? So set yourself into a space of understanding what brings those changes to be more in a flowing space where you're far more peaceful, you're far more trusting. I call these the rays of light. I talk about these as your unknowing, your connection, your attunement, your desires, your worth, all right? Your ability to give, your understanding of forgiveness, your capability of being intuitive. Now, you are intuitive, but your capability of being intuitive, there's such a big gap with that. So, for you to be in a rhythmic pattern, for you to be in the flow of change and allowing change to be the benevolence of what it is and the evolving constant, you've got to change your old ways. You have to put yourself in a way that you have to clear the mind. That's why meditation has become such a big thing. But I'm saying that people don't even understand what meditation is because they're churning. They're not clearing up their spaces. Your space has to change so that you are able to be the change within that space. And then you are having to change certain habits within you so that that change is able to be the benevolence that it is. So how do you recognize when you're allowing you to be the change or you're resisting the change? How you feel? Are you feeling heavy? Are you feeling clogged? Are you feeling fogged? Are you feeling irritated? Are you feeling frustrated? These are all emotional triggers and guidelines that are supportive. But so many layers of that. So unless you're one or two listening to this, your cup is clean. I'm 55. I don't know how old you are. I'm 55 of lots of changes and lots of resistance and a lot of different things. How old are you when you're listening to this? Where are you with you being you? Where are you with what you've asked for? Have you cleared out your space? Have you cleared out your home? Have you cleared out your mind? Have you cleared out your old beliefs? Or have you become opinionated on those old beliefs? Are you the change unfolding in progress in a happy space? Or are you changing, disgruntled and bemoaning and saying, oh, I'm going with this because I just want to. And going with that, you're going to split off like a split end. Because that has to change. That doesn't have the vibrational equity to rise above the the nonchalance of what is evolving. You'll notice as you grow, things change. Your friends change, your environments change, your circumstances change, your body changes, your tastes change, your senses change. And then you grow a little bit more. Then you go, oh my God, I can't change that much because people don't like me anymore. How crazy is that? That is the craziest thing that is going on. You have to have discernment. You have to know that you are changing. And if you're denying and if you're resisting and if you're doing all this, it's just going to unfold this unprecedented knowing of what you know. It's like you are denying your own change. Come on. Spiritual responsibility, personal responsibility. You have to be responsible. Change is imminent. It's written in so many books. Everyone speaks about it. And yet everyone is not doing it. Well, for you to change, you have to do this, 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 and this. No, change has already happened. You've got to know that the past is always going to be the past, but it's always you that's going to bring this past into being in the present. Unless you change that, and you have the emotional capacity to do that, okay? And you also have to understand certain things just are. A snake is never going to be anything else but a snake, okay? A bird is never going to be anything else but a bird. Now, can you put a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that and a little bit of that? Yes. Creative process, creative entitlement, creative identity. You can do whatever you want. But just know that when you're doing those changes and you're not honoring a benevolence or vibrational sacred attunement, then you're also creating changes that might not withstand the foundation of who you really are. And then don't be surprised if those things collapse. Because if they've collapsed, or you've gone through a flush out of money, you've gone through a flush out of friends, or you've got it's just because it didn't withstand. Isn't that great that you're evolving to that place? Be aware. Change is beautiful because it gives us the stream of evolving us into the next space and keeps us from being the same old self we were. Now, just remember we do come with free will, right? Stubbornness is not a great attribute. Skepticism is an old dog. So be aware, be conscious, be understanding that it is a beautiful thing, but you are what is the change. And it's which you are being that is going to support that. How do you support you being the unbeknown asking of your own eternal self? Line up with your higher self. Set that intention to support your higher self. Why? Because all changes come from your higher self. Your higher self already knows the way. You've already asked for a lot of different things. Your lower self is not the one that's going to get you there, but it is the one that's going to want to go with you. So allow the changes to bring it all into balance so that you have a free passage. So line up, listen to your influences, line up with the rhythms of the moon. It's our oldest wisdom. Just pay attention.
You want to open up and
be tuned
awaken
in.
your wisdom box,
Okay?
so that you can manifest your dreams in this lifetime experience. We are empathic. We are sensitive. We are intuitive. We are psychically attuned to this energy world that is awakening who we are. You're so much more than who you think you are. And remind yourself that your higher self absolutely knows what you want. You are the creator of your life. Future holds for you what you have put into your future, what you're thinking, but most of all, what you're feeling. That is what is coming to you. That is how the universe talks. You are the creator of your life. We all are.
Are you ready?
My name is Vanahaha.